Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I'm getting things together. This video is a back to basics part 2. So the first back to basics, I wanted to focus just on the face and blending techniques and how I do that. This video is just the eyes. As you can see, I already have foundation, I already have concealer, I already have highlight, contour. It's all already on my face. So this video is just about the eyes. I had a mic malfunction, which is why we are doing a voiceover, and it's also why it has taken me so long to get this video up. I was so mad when I sat down to film this video and then I went to go edit it and I was like, oh my god. I had to completely redo the entire thing and I was super frustrated. I had to go through, wash my face off, and then go through and put all my makeup back on and then sit down and film this again without me actually talking, because the first one I could have done a voiceover, but I would have been talking and you'd have been like, okay, the voiceover is not matching the fact that she's talking. I looked crazy. Yeah, I looked like a crazy person. Okay, so for the first step, I'm going to be taking a IPSY L34 brush and the Jaclyn Hill Bling Boss palette from the Vault collection. And you're gonna see me stop and write things down because I wanted to make sure I had everything 100% in order for y'all. So I'm taking that IPSY L34 brush. It is a nice fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Hush Hush, which should appear on the screen any second now. Any second now, Blake. Any second now. Come on, come on. All right, here we go. Okay, so Hush Hush is that nice I'm having so many issues with this. It's that nice muted purple shade. I'm going to be using that as a transition color. Ideally, you want to go in with a shade that is slightly darker than your skin tone, but because I want to give y'all a realistic version of this, because yeah, I don't always follow my own advice, so I wanted to do a realistic version. Now what I'm doing is I am blending this into my crease. I am really going to take the time to blend this in. That is a key of getting back to basics here, is blending and taking the time to blend it. Now, ideally, my eye should be closed and I should be raising my eyebrow, but clearly I'm not good at following my own advice or practicing what I preach. But the color is already laid down. I think I'm doing this so that you can actually see what I'm doing and I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going into the other eye and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm just blending, 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 blending. I did fast forward that because this was actually like a 10-minute segment of me blending that one color. And that is, we're really back to basics here. Blend, just blend, 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 blend. Okay, so now I have the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and now I have the Ring the Alarm palette. Now I'm going to take the shade Rush. I don't know why I'm having so many issues with this showing the camera what I'm doing, but I'm going to go into the shade Rush. It's a nice muted orange. As you can see, I'm going with muted colors, and I am dusting that brush off because I don't want fallout. There we go. Now I'm following my own advice. Eye closed and the eyes open again. Wow, I really don't practice what I preach, huh? I need to work on that. Okay, so I'm just blending that color into my crease, and the whole reason I am doing a slightly darker color from a different shade is because I really like the way Hush Hush and Rush blend together. It almost creates like a nice warm brown, if that makes sense. I have warm browns, but I wanted to just show you how blending and layering different shades, how it really alters the look and all of that. So I'm just blending, 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 blending. I'm going in windshield wiping motions and then small little circular motions. But I'm not really bringing that shade Rush too far above my crease. I'm really just focusing it in my actual crease because I want to define my crease. And yeah, all that goodness. I am going back into the pan, but I'm still just blending it and focusing it in that one spot. Now I am going to wipe off any excess color that may be on that brush and then just blend them again. Again, since we're going back to basics, the basics with eyeshadow, it doesn't matter if you use one eyeshadow, it doesn't matter if you use two, it doesn't matter if you use 30. Blending is always the key to making a look effortless. It's just, you don't want harsh lines, you don't want wrinkles, because at the end of the day, we all have creases in our eye. I don't care if you're 12, I don't care if you're 80, you are going to have creases in your eye because our eyes open and they close. They open and they close. So the more you blend, the less likely you are to see those creases. So look, the pen's back in my mouth. And I'm just sitting there staring, making faces. See, the problem is when I sat down and I filmed this initially, and this is the exact same look, I had a hard time remembering what shades I went into. So that's why you see me doing this, because I wanted to do the exact same freaking look. And that tapping you're hearing ever so loudly is my nail hitting my ring. Okay, so I'm taking a Beaux Gachis tapered blending brush and I'm going into Sparks. That's that nice purpley shade, and that is from the Bling Boss palette from the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. That is such a mouthful. Now I'm literally pressing that pigment into my lid with this brush. Like, you don't see me actually blending it yet. I'm literally pressing it because I want to press it on the exact spots that I want it. And then when I blend it, it's going to soften that shade and blend it into the colors I've already laid down. So as you can see, I am still tapping the excess pigment off of my brush because I don't want fallout on my under eye. I mean, it's gonna happen, but that's usually why I have powder underneath my eye. For this particular series, I do not, because this was a 2-part series, like first part being face, second part being eyes, and only eyes. Now I am gonna take that brush and in small circular motions, I'm going to blend that color into the colors I have already laid down. And then I'm going to go in with windshield wiping motions. You can do circular motions, you can do windshield wiping motions when it comes to your crease. I'm mixing them together. I'm doing circular motions on my lid because I don't want that color to go any further in on my lid. I want it to pretty much stay exactly where it is. And why did my screen just go black? Okay, so now that we are having technical difficulties on multi-levels here, as I was saying, I am going in circular motions on the lid because I do not want it any further in than it already is. Now I'm taking it Bling Organics, I hope I said that right, 389. I'm going in with the fluffy side of that brush and I'm going into Smooth Criminal from the Jaclyn Hill Armed and Gorgeous palette. And we are going to press that in on the upper portion of my outer crease. Okay, so we are just pressing that, pressing. I am focusing that on the outer portion of my crease because I just want to add a little more darkness above Sparks that I have already blended out. But I also want to add a little bit of definition because if I really wanted just darkness, I could go in with sparks, but because I want a little definition, I'm gonna go in with a different shade. Now I'm taking that same IPSY blending brush, the L34, and I'm gonna just blend that out and down into sparks, and then also bring it a little into my crease. I'm sorry if you were hearing my dogs in the background. Someone is moving out of my apartment building and they're making all kinds of noise, and it's really obnoxious. But again, it's back to basics. Just blend, 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 blend. I don't want any harsh lines. I want this to essentially blend to where it looks like I don't have 20 million shades on my eye, but I do. So yeah. Now I'm taking that same brush and I'm going into Access, that nice yellow shade from the Armed and Gorgeous palette. And I tapped off all the excess. As you can see, there's quite a bit. Now I'm going to focus that on the very top of where I laid down all of those shades. The very upper crease, I went in with this shade because it is going to blend Hush Hush and smooth it out, but at the same time it is gonna kind of create a nice little color story. I'm going in with purples and reds and oranges. Well, not so much reds, but purples, oranges, some browns. Now I am taking a Luxie 239 brush, which is a flat blending brush. It's like a flat, fluffy blending brush. And I'm taking Access, that nice yellow shade from the Armed and Gorgeous palette. And I am taking that on my lower lash line. I am dragging it a little bit further down than I normally would because Access is a pretty light shade. It is very pigmented, but it is pretty light. And for the shade that I want to go closer on my lash line, this is gonna work the best. So that is why I'm taking Access. Now I'm gonna go into a complete another palette. So as you can see when I blink, there's a nice color story. Now I'm gonna take that same Luxie 239 brush and I'm gonna go into Sparks. But as you can see, when I look up, there is a nice color story. It is a nice blend. I do have a lot of colors on my eye, but they mesh together. Now I'm going to take that Spark shade and I'm going to keep that very, very close to my lower lash line. Basically right up under my waterline. Then now, because I'm going in with a darker shade, I'm not going to bring it super low. I want the Access color, which is that nice yellow shade, to be the lowest point, because if I bring it too far down, if I bring Sparks, like a darker shade, too far down, it's going to make me look like I have raccoon eyes. I don't want to walk around looking like a raccoon. Now also, I'm not bringing Sparks all the way in to my inner corner because I do want to keep the inner corners of my eye nice and bright, because the darker, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Alright guys, I am so sorry about that. Just constant interference no matter what I'm filming. No matter what I'm trying to do, there's constant interference. Okay, so as I was saying, that is why I want the lighter shade on the bottom, and then the inner corners of my eye, I want to keep them nice and bright, because when you have a lot of darkness on the inner corner, it is going to bring your eyes closer together. Also, if you have brightness, it's going to make your eyes look more awake. Okay, so now I'm going in with a BH Cosmetics number 10 from the Rose Gold collection, and I'm going to blend those colors together with Access. I'm going back into Access and I'm just going to work those colors in together. Again, I'm just working Access and Sparks. So it's not like I'm going in with a third shade. I'm just using the same shade I initially laid down to kind of mesh those together. Now I'm going to take a BH Cosmetics number 7 brush from the Rose Gold collection, and I'm going to go into Lolly, and that is from the Ring the Alarm palette, I believe. Pretty sure that was Ring the Alarm. I'm going to spritz it with some setting spray. That prevents a lot of like shimmery fallout, but that also makes the color more pigmented and stays in place. So I'm just going to start placing that on the inner corner of my eyelid, and then I'm going to slightly drag it back. I'm not pressing really hard. I'm barely pressing the brush onto my eye, and I'm going back into it again, spritzing it again. I don't want all of that fallout, but I want to go in with a nice bright color. The one thing I do love about the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection shimmers is they're not always what they seem. Like, you'll see in a second, there's another shade. It looks very, very purple. But then when it's on and you turn your head in a different direction, it has like a silver tint. But quickly, I am going to go ahead and wipe off the excess off that brush from Lolly. Now I'm going to go into Ballsy. In the pan, it looks like a silver purple. Now watch. When it goes on, it's one of those shimmers, spritz as always. It's one of those shimmers that just has so much dimension to it, and I'm going to focus that on the middle outer corner. So it's just one of those, all of her shimmers, I will say this, all of her shimmers are just, there's so much dimension to them. They're gorgeous shades. They do last all day. It literally took me 20 minutes to get my makeup off, and it never takes me 20 minutes. But another reason I'm going in with the shade on the middle is if you go in with a really bright shimmer in the middle of your eye, it kind of just makes your eyelid pop. So now I am going in with a BH Cosmetics number 10 brush from the Rose Gold, and I'm going to go into VIP, which is that nice icy white shade. I'm going to very lightly highlight my brow bone. I want to bring some dimension to the arch of my brow, but I don't want it to look like I'm back in the 90s with a super strong highlight. So I literally just dabbed into it. I didn't spritz my brush. I didn't do any of that. I just very lightly did that. Now I'm going to use that same shade, VIP, to highlight the inner corner of my eye, and I did kind of drag that in on my lower lash line just a little bit, mainly to make my eyes look big and awake, because I do have small almond shaped eyes, and this really just helps my eyes pop and make them look very awake. See, look how much more awake I look. I look like I slept for 20 hours. All right, so I'm taking my Chella felt tip pen. This is a brown, and I'm not winging my eyeliner out. I'm literally just gonna go in with a nice tight line on my eyelid just to kind of add some definition to my lashes, because hey, guess what? I am really, really bad at life, and I'm out of eyelashes. Well, I was when I filmed this. I have them now. Don't worry. I went and got some. But yeah, I cleaned out all my makeup, and I kind of forgot about lashes. Yay, fail. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the Arrow. This is a pinkish white eyeliner. It is a eyeliner that is specifically designed for your waterline, and I'm just popping that in my waterline. When you go in with a white or a nude or anything that's like flesh toned or designed for your waterline, it just makes your eyes pop, makes them look whiter, makes them look more awake, and that's why I'm doing that. Now I'm going to go in with Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. I'm going to put my mascara on, I'm gonna go in with quite a few coats. I go in with 3 coats because, yeah, I'm bougie. Not really. The whole reason I'm going in with 3 coats is because it's just gonna add a bunch of dimension and make it look like I have some falsies on. In all reality, I don't have any falsies on. So yeah, we're just gonna keep doing that. Now I am gonna let it dry for a second, and then I'm gonna go back in and do it all over again. Now just waiting and waiting and waiting, still drying. Okay, so actually I'm gonna take a Studio Pro brush from BH Cosmetics, and I'm gonna go ahead and brush off any fallout that I may or may not have on my face, and then I'm gonna go back in with a second coat. Was that supposed to be a second? Was that supposed to be 2? Why did I hold up a 3? Oh, maybe I'm counting down. Yeah, I don't know the logic here. There is no logic here. And as you can see, when it comes to the mascara, there we go. Okay. I'm really taking my time with making sure it just all goes through. I make some weird faces when I put mascara on. Does anyone else make the mascara face? Because I'm totally making the mascara face right now. Ooh, total mascara face. Here we go. Am I still in coat 2? That's what I want to know. Am I still in coat 2? Or did I finally move on to coat 3? Nope. Still in coat 2. Glad I asked. So this is drying. Alright, here we go. Now we're on coat 3. Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm doing. See, I'm saying 1, 2. Now I'm on coat 3. Still made no sense. I look like a crazy person. Here we go again with the face. Oh my goodness. I should do voiceovers more often. This is fascinating. You ever just like watch yourself do something and you're like, do I really look like that when I do that? Good Lord have mercy. Yep, that's the face I make when I do mascara. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do some on my lower lashes just to kind of make them pop. I always put mascara on my lower lashes. You don't have to. You can totally skip this. I just always do. I feel like it makes my eyes, yeah, I don't know why I did that. I feel like it kind of makes my eyes pop. Now it's drying and it's drying and it's drying and I'm making weird faces and doing weird things while it dries. Now I'm just kind of blending out. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because I had to redo my makeup because my entire life malfunctioned. Now I'm gonna set my face with some MAC Fix Plus. Being very careful not to shut my eyes too tight, otherwise the mascara is gonna get wet and then it's gonna crease. Now I'm gonna go in with some Skin & Co. Truffle Therapy Illuminating Mist. Wow, I'm just being very extra with these setting powders and setting sprays and mascara. Now I'm letting it dry. And I kind of look mad that I have to let it dry. Anyone else see that? I kind of look frustrated. Like I just did this to myself. Why am I setting my face? I always set my eyeshadow. I don't know why. It's not like it's going anywhere. I was gonna say, I set my face earlier. Oh, see? I closed my eye too hard and yeah, that just happened. So basically what I'm gonna do now when that dries is I'm gonna take a clean spoolie and just scrape off. Yep, there it goes. I'm gonna scrape off the mascara that is currently taking up residence on my face. Not on my eyelashes, on my face. But I want to make sure my face is fully dry. I want to make sure that mascara is fully dry, because if that mascara is not fully dry when I go to do this, it's just gonna smear. So I'm very lightly, I'm not like using my hand as hard as possible and scraping it off. I'm barely touching it to my skin and just kind of scraping it off, because once the mascara is dry, it will literally just scrape off. And because I did that, I probably took off some of my powder. Yeah, see? I knew that was going to happen. Now I spritz the sponge with some setting spray, and I'm just going to lightly go over it just to make sure everything looks nice and normal. Alright, and we're done. Thanks for watching, guys.